I want to talk a little bit about the research paper that's coming up. You're able to pick your own topic on this research paper. If you keep the same topic that you used for your editorial essay, I think that will save you a lot of time. You already have a few sources on that, and you can build on that. Now, the research paper at this stage is going to be informational. I need you to go online, go to the school's library, and learn about your topic. You may already know things about your topic, but you need to update the knowledge and you need to grow. You need to grow in the knowledge. So um, try to find more material than you have already accumulated. If it's a favorite topic of yours or if it's brand new, then you need to know where to start in terms of teaching yourself about it. I would start online first, just surfing the net to see what you can read about and learn about. I would watch as many YouTube videos as I could on my topic. And then I would move towards the library and the resources that are there so that you can start getting some sources to put into your paper that's going to inform me about your topic. Again, um, what I'm really looking for here is your ability to find credible sources to present through your writing a working knowledge of the topic that you have in hand. Let me take a little time out here to encourage you at this point. If you are feeling that the topic you're thinking of, or maybe if you like the idea of using the same topic that you have in your editorial essay to continue building that, you might at this point begin thinking perhaps that the topic is too big, or maybe there's too much information on it. And at that point, I would narrow it down. All right. Uh, Try to find a certain angle in the larger topic that you could simply focus on, um, to the exclusion of others, so that you have something that you can that you can work with. You see what I'm saying? For example, let's say that you know one of your topics. Let's say that perhaps one of you chose um, to write about nutrition and public policy, because every now and then there are attempts by health minded officials that may or may not have the right facts, but they want to reduce the sugar intake of children or of adults. They want to just have us eat better. Okay, and sometimes this shows up in certain ways. For example, if a family is receiving state aid for uh, food, and they're able to use state funds. Maybe they have a card that they can take to certain grocery stores, and they can buy things for their children or for their infants or for their family. And maybe that state says, these are the things you can buy, and these are the things we will not pay for. We're not going to pay for Coke. We're not going to pay for soft drinks. We're not going to pay for chips. All right, we'll pay for vegetables. We'll pay for bread. So if you read about this, you'll find that there are periodic cases where the state or the school system or the city, a major city like New York, um, will have a campaign or will have a political push to sort of limit uh, the types of food that people on state support for groceries can buy. Okay, so if your topic is just nutrition, and maybe you found some sort of controversial issue there about nutrition, that you found two editorial pieces against it or for it, or you can imagine that scenario. Maybe this is different from what you did for your editorial essay, um, but you feel that you want to work with this. Well, that's such a huge topic that if you simply stay with nutrition and you go out and try to find sources on it and try to write a research paper on it, um, it's overwhelming. It's too much. And what will happen is your sources will be very general, very sort of big picture overview sources, because if you simply work with nutrition, it's too big of a topic. Um, and you might feel overwhelmed by the topic, and you might overwrite. There's just too much information, so you might be writing much longer than this next assignment asks you to do. By the way, I'm not going to give you those specifics in the video. Just go ahead and look at the instruction sheet to find out how long the essay needs to be, how many sources need to be used, how many in-text citations need to be in the informational paper, the research paper, and what sort of bibliographic list we need at the end, whether it's MLA or APA or whatnot. So you go ahead and just look at the written instructions for that. The video here is just meant to have you think about things and to get some strategies. But I think if you were to take just nutrition as a general topic, it's too big. But what if you would just focus on Coke machines in elementary schools? You see that? Or soda machines, soft drinks being sold by vending machines in a school. And if you research this concerning Coca-Cola, the company, they often make deals with the school saying, hey, you let us put our vending machines exclusively in your school, so there's no Pepsi, it's all Coke products in the vending machines in the hallway, and we will make a deal. We'll sponsor a new scoreboard for your football stadium, or we will pave the parking lot, or something like that. Now, the information I've just told you stuff, and I'm thinking about a book that I read a couple years ago called The Coke Machine, The Dark History of America's Favorite Soft Drink, or something like that. The short title was The Coke Machine. I have it on my shelf, but I didn't know which book I was going to talk about, so I don't have it now, but on hand. But The Coke Machine, and that one issue, right? Soft drinks vending machines in elementary schools. Why did we let that happen? What happens when a young student, 5th grade, 6th grade, drinks all that sugar? And sugar that's dissolved already, sugar that's in a liquid state. So it's going to go very quickly from the stomach into the bloodstream, and the insulin of the body is going to kick in to try to scrub that sugar from the blood. That's going to store it somewhere. What does it do to our children? And if you look at the back of a Coke can and you look to see how many grams of sugar are there, okay, take whatever number it is and divide it by 4. So if it says, I don't know. How about 52? 52 grams of sugar, okay? Now there are 4 grams in 1 teaspoon, okay, of sugar. So go ahead and find a teaspoon. And if it says 52 grams, take 13 of those teaspoons, fill it up with sugar, level it off. All right, let's play fair. Don't have it be heaping mounds, but level it off. But 13, and pour it in front of you. And pretty soon you have a sugar mountain, okay? And what in the world are we doing allowing kids to eat all this sugar? Research what sugar does to your brain when you have it, and what it does with that sense of joy, or with the dopamine, okay? So you can tell I'm getting on to something here that maybe, if I were a student in my own class, I think I would write this, because I know it's an issue. And I know that just looking at not nutrition as the topic, that's way too big, but simply vending machines in elementary schools, okay? Specifically Coke vending machines. I would look at and then the question would be, well, where do I go to find sources on this? Hey, go to Google, go to Safari, go whatever search engine you use, ask AI what is going on with Coke machines in elementary schools, and see what you find. Now, you heard I said use AI. Use it for the research. I mean, use it to learn about your topic, for sure, and just see what's out there, and then learn to take the phrases, to take the way that the wording. Sometimes you're going to hit keywords that you realize are, is the grammar of the topic, if you will, and you can take some of those keywords and use them to search in the databases at your library. So that's how it works, really. So what am I going to be looking for? I'm going to be looking for just an informational paper that has a topic that you can handle. And I left it off this list because it's very important. I want to talk about it. I want you to watch me write this in all caps. Okay. All right. A topic you can manage. That's a G. A topic you can manage. Okay. That's number 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is really the big one here. Okay. I feel like if you learn how to pick the right topics for your research papers, it goes a long way, and it doesn't overwhelm you. And those big topics are going to overwhelm you, and they're going to trick you, because you're going to do a lot of work on this. There's just too many sources out there. And then you're going to write a paper that's trying to handle all that information. It doesn't have much depth. It's just very superficial. And it's the best you can do because you just took on too much, right? Whereas you say, okay, that's my big topic. Let me find a subtopic within the big one that I can focus on so that I can have some depth and some room to think here, to room eventually to create my own voice. That will come later in another essay. Right now, though, once you find that subtopic, your job is just to read about it, research it, find some credible sources, put them in your paper. For some of those, use quotes, and for the quotes, use in-text citation. And at the end, go ahead and produce the bibliographic section. Okay. And again, the details of all of that will be in a handwritten document, in our class work folder, in the work folder. But I just wanted to give you an overview of what I was looking for. It's a research paper. It's informational at this point. Pick a topic you can handle. Use the library and the internet and AI just to do the research. Learn how to find those keywords that will help you search more efficiently in the databases. Get your information together, write the thing, and then make sure that you have some quotes in there. Again, the exact number will be in the instructions and also the bibliographic list. Okay? Hey, thank you for watching.